All right, welcome into the Catcast. This is your host, Cat Kennison, as always, here to give you another podcast today for my listeners to listen to. I had Kitty up here, then she went out onto the porch, then she came back in because it's pretty cold out there, and but she didn't want to stay. So, just Cat here with you today. You never know, though. We may get her to come back, I know everybody likes to see the kitties. All right, but we've got great topics for today's podcast, and I'm very excited to bring them to you today. So I'm going to give you the rundown right now, and then we'll just start chatting away like usual, giving you the good stuff today. Okay, so I'm going to tell you about I go to a particular restaurant and bar, and I eat there. And I'm going to tell you about a experience I had at the bar that I go to, okay? We're going to talk about the shutdown, which is still going on now, day 21, I believe. So we're going to talk about the shutdown. We're going to talk about the president and his appearances, because that's a great topic I want to talk about. Very important thing I need to bring up there today, president and appearances. Okay, great. Body shaming. Today on the app, we were actually talking a lot about body issues and body shaming, which is wrong. And there are lots of different types of body shaming, and we're going to talk about those as well. Like people it's a very touchy topic because we talked about it today for quite a stretch of time, maybe 3 hours on the CB today about body stuff. Then we have the Democratic base right now is crazy. Sorry. But they are. We're going to get to that as well. And then also, there's some issues with Cuba and Venezuela. We've already talked about the Venezuela one, but we're going to also talk about the Cuba issue. So as you can see, this Catcast is jam-packed with all kinds of stuff Cat wants to share with you, and it's going to be a totally entertaining 30 here. So get ready for this 30, and I'm just going to get going right away with it, and because there's no reason to delay. So we're today at the bar. I had sticky shrimp, and I got some nuggets for Carl. He's one of my buddies there, Cowboy Carl, because he wears a cowboy hat, cowboy boots. And then my other buddy down there named Danny, and he's Notre Dame Danny because he's a big Notre Dame fan. And anyways, I ordered some nuggets, get 20 nuggets to share with them. Everybody got their own sauce and stuff, and all that is all good, having a great time. But then Bob comes in, and Bob is upset that we're working on the people's house. He says, the White House. He says, not his house. It's the people's house. I'm like, yeah, and he's making it better. No, he's not. I'm like, are you kidding me? He put tons of gold into it, okay? Now they're adding a ballroom to the house. It's like, that's why they're basically doing this. It's to add on to the house, okay? It's kind of a really cool thing. No, it's not. This is Bob. Okay, I'm doing Bob. On here, I can handle my composure pretty well. But out in public, I just leave. Because I choose not to engage someone that is stupid. So I just leave and smile and tell the other guys I'll see them later. Because obviously, Bob just hates Donald Trump. It was very easy for everybody to see. He's a TDSer and just wants to complain about anything Trump does. Trump could dip the White House in gold, and he'd be like, not white anymore. Yeah, it's gold. What if it's white gold? Ooh. So, that's my problem with people with TDS. They know what's best. You can't have a different opinion than them. If you do, they don't want to hear it. They don't care. I don't have a problem hearing his stupid opinion. I just think it's dumb. Like I said, he's making the White House better, okay? He's not paying for it. He got donations paid for it. You guys don't pay for anything either. Democrats get everything given to them, all the freaking time. But hey, it's always, don't treat me the way I want Trump treated. My good impressions, isn't it? Isn't it a killer impression? It's basically a child just crying and whining. We'll be talking about this more. But, needless to say, it's the dumbest thing you could possibly complain about. He's adding on to the White House. He's making it better. It's going to be classy. It's going to be great. He's already made the Rose Garden way better. You guys just don't like him doing things, making things better. Because you hate him. Not for any other reason. Because I would love to know what the issue is. Changing it. For the better. For the better. It's for the better. I'm breathing right now to relax myself, because this is a person I actually have to engage with. And now, I don't even want to ever sit next to the person again. I don't even want to sit next to Bob. I didn't know he was so crazy until today. It's not that I don't like him now, but I don't want to hear him. Whenever he sees something, he's going to complain about it. That's the main reason I'm worried about sitting by him now. Because I can just keep my mouth shut about politics at the bar, because you're not going to sway anybody at the bar. Generally, we talk sports, women, food, beer, Nobody gets upset about that. You stay away from politics and you stay away from religion at the bar, unless you all agree, and then go ahead and go for it. But it just causes, I was so glad I was done with my sticky shrimp and my chicken nuggets, and I was out of there because I didn't want to engage in his stupidity. Which we'll move in now to the shutdown. Day 21. Now, I was hoping that they were going to get something done by Wednesday of this week. They had to wait until after the protests, the No Kings, and then they were going to do something about the shutdown. But now it sounds like these Democrats are so worried about being primaried that now, who knows how long it's going to go on for. Because they're like, so scared of being primaried. Because their base is crazy. And wants them to fight. Fight. And not get anything done. They just want to log jam everything and have nothing get done. They love to log jam. And it's not going to work because we'll outweight you. We'll outweight you for as long as you want, Democrats. I don't give a crap anymore. We're not going to be told what we got to do anymore. We're just going to wait you out. There is no immediate hurry for us. We'll figure out a way to make sure everybody gets paid. But we're not going to let you hold us hostage anymore. We're just not, It's like when you guys win everything, you do everything. And when you lose everything, you still try to control everything. It's like that you don't even want it to matter if our side wins. You want it to always be your side running everything. And if you don't get whatever you want, you just shut down the government and don't do anything. And we don't need you. We don't need you. We might as well stop paying you. All the Congress and senators, all the government officials, stop paying them. Watch how fast a deal gets done. But no, they don't want to do that. They'd rather stop paying other people. They got to keep getting paid for doing nothing. So then the girl today was complaining, well, the Congress has gone home. He's not going to have... Well, because there's no point until the Senate does it. If the Senate ain't going to vote on it, what are we going to have them sitting around for? So we just have them at home until the Democrats actually decide to do their job. Who knows if they're ever going to do it? I have not much faith in them doing their job because they're afraid they're going to get primaried. Well, the next people that get in are not going to get anything done either. If you don't want to work with the administration, then you're just going to be on the sidelines doing nothing. Is that what you guys really want? Do nothing? It's... I don't know what more I can say about it. I've got to keep watching the clock. We got a lot of things to talk about today. So we're just hitting each topic quick. We can always come back to it more. But we're not going to cave in, Democrats. So it's up to you when you want to make a deal. We'll wait as long as you want because we're not going to cave in to your demands. We're just not anymore. We're done with that. When we get control, we get to run things. It's how it works. You guys get to do your checks and balances, but you don't get to just hold everything up forever. Just ridiculous. President appearances. So, as I watch the news today, I'm fascinated at how many times we get to see President Trump on the news, doing press conferences, and today they had a thing for India, some kind of ceremony. They lit a candle, and Trump got to light the final flame, and I was like, I don't remember Biden doing that. I don't know what it was. It started with a D, Delia, something like that for India, some sort of special ceremony. I didn't hear everything about it. I just watched it with mute on while I was on the CB, but it was interesting. But then I remembered in the morning as well, he was doing a press conference in the Oval Office in the morning, and then they're there in the night. And I remember thinking to myself, I never remember Biden being on TV twice in one day. I just remember usually seeing him once or whatever, maybe getting on the plane or on the helicopter, but you didn't actually see him speak more than one time, usually in a day. And then Jan Paul, JPG, I can't think of the press secretary, she's doing her book thing, and she brought up the president would speak 2 times a week. The president we got now speaks like every day, 5 times a week, and a lot of times multiple times in a day. So I'm not sure what her point is. 2 times a week. 2 times a week, huh? Yeah. Now we got a guy you can talk to every day, all the time. He's so available that the press is getting tired of how much availability he has. He's so available, But they still want to make that Biden was perfectly fine. She's still out there saying, he aged, but, he still was fine. No, he was not. He would walk off in different directions. He would totally freeze up like he's having a stroke or something. He would not remember people's names. He was doing all kinds of things that not just an old person would do, but a person that's really losing their memory, maybe having a little dementia, Alzheimer's type of condition. The kind of stuff that was happening was not just getting old, because that's very insulting to a lot of other people. Like Bernie Sanders is old. He still speaks just fine. He still doesn't have... he doesn't have any issues like Joe Biden. Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden, 2 different people, okay? And one of them looks old, but looks competent. The other one looks old and like he's not there. Okay, we're not going to take any more that you guys are just the lie you were peddling that he was perfectly fine. Nobody's buying it. He had cancer, obviously. Okay, so we know there were issues. Okay, for you to say, he's perfectly fine. We know now that he wasn't. The doctor wasn't even doing proper tests for him. How can you not be checking his prostate as old as he is? That's the dumbest. This guy is dumb. Maybe, I don't know why, but he is a dumb doctor. Okay, we can never have doctors anymore that are like friends of the person. You almost need to have 3 doctors that are like independent that judge the person, because we can never have this happen again. You got people out there right now saying, Trump is crazy. Trump is. Well, then let's have 3 doctors examine him and see. I don't think he is. I think he's very sane. He's been doing very sane things. You guys are the crazy people. Democrat policies are crazy insane. Let's let guys into girls' locker rooms. Stuff like that is insane policy, okay? Letting illegals just stream into your country, all kinds of them, dangerous, whatever. It's insane. The stuff you guys believe in is crazy, but you still believe in it, okay? But a normal person would be like, that's kind of stupid. Would you let 3 strangers just live in your house that you don't know? No. Well, why you let them come into the country then? You don't know them. They could still, just because they're not in your house, they can now break into your house. Kind of stupid, right? Yes, very stupid. Okay? Your policies do not make sense. I cannot comprehend them. Okay? They are dumb policies. You know? The only good policies Democrats have are the ones they've hijacked and they're manipulating, and they're not really even good policies. Like saying they're the Green Party when everybody knows conservatives care way more about the environment than the Democrats do. Okay? Way more. So that's a hijack policy right there. You guys hijacked it. You know, we care about the environment. You guys want to just destroy it with all your ideas that are actually not green, but you pretend they are, okay? Like windmills that we have nothing to do with in 20 years. You can't just put them in the ground. What are we going to do with these enormous things? Nobody has an idea. I don't know. They don't even make wind. They're ugly. They're killing birds. Birds are part of the environment too. But apparently, recently, animals have been dropped off the environment. Now they don't want you having dogs. They don't want you eating cow. They want those animals on this planet because they add flatulence to the air, methane, which I guess is bad. It's a C2 gas going to warm up our planet, and people are going to die. So they just want the animals dead. That's not environmentally friendly. The animals are part of the environment. These people are crazy. I don't know if PETA knows that the green people now want to kill animals, you know. Of course, PETA almost thinks, too, that you shouldn't have animals as pets, even though my cats love me, okay? I am basically their dad. I take care of them. I feed them. I give them toys. I give them love. They have the best. Nobody treats their cats better than Cat. I can guarantee it, all right? But they would prefer those cats just be out in the wilderness, shortening their life by half. It's been shown. Cat outside has half the chance of a cat that stays inside. Man, I'm blowing people's minds today. All right. President Trump is on camera all the time. He's the most accessible president in our history of recent times, and he's the most honest that we've ever seen. It is truly an amazing thing. There goes Kitty onto the porch. We're going to move on to body shaming. We've got a lot to cover here. So we had some individuals who were talking about the way a lady attire and how they might dress. And you could tell that this particular lady was very biased in her opinions because a lot of women, and I don't want to say it about all women, but women get jealous of other women. And she did say at one point that you have to work so much harder to get attention from the other girls that are like dressed with less attire on. And I'm like, well, why are you trying to get their attention anyways? That's what I was thinking if you're already with somebody, you know. And why would you want that person's attention if that's the kind of person you're not interested in because they're interested in that? Then why would you even be interested in a person like that? It was a very interesting conversation, to say the least. But I was the one that eventually got around to, you're almost body shaming somebody. So if somebody is a little bit sexier, you're going to want that person to cover up more than somebody who's not as curvy, right? Which is a form of body shaming. And I wrote down quite a few different types. You could shame someone for tattoos. You could shame for piercings. You could shame somebody for hairstyles, body type, how big, how tall, short, thin, and clothing, attire, okay? But these are all subjective things, okay? It's a person's opinion about whether they should get a tattoo or not, okay? Or a piercing, okay? Piercing goes back a long time, too. At least the ears. Other things more recent. But piercing the ear has been around for a very, very long time. Hairstyles as well. Some people say certain hairstyles you can't have, even in the Bible, my sister pointed out, it says that men are not supposed to have long hair. I'm like, that's interesting. When Samson was supposed to have long hair for him to have the strength. Every picture of Jesus I have ever seen, he had long hair. And I'm just wondering, how did you get haircuts back then? They didn't have trimmers, so I'm guessing they cut your hair with a knife or what? I don't know. But to me, it would make more sense for them to have long hair. Just because, we had hair for a reason, to not lose body heat. So cutting your hair shorter it just seems hard. And, that's something that's going to cost money, right? Most people aren't going to cut their own hair, you would think. There are so many issues that I was thinking about with the hairstyles, okay? But the worst type of shaming is body type. Because all these other ones, hair, attire, piercing, tattoos, those can all are usually things that you can control. But you can't really control your body. You got your genetics. I guess you can control somewhat to how big you get or whatever, but some of that is also genetics. How fast your metabolism is, things like that, and thyroid issues, whatever, bloating from water, liquid. There's lots of things. So, but the thing that I hate is someone that will shame somebody when they know a lot of it is hereditary. Unless the girl goes and gets implants or something, or plastic surgery, which you usually don't do. Most women do not do cosmetic surgery. Then why would you ever pick on somebody? I don't think you should anyways. Like I said, that's something that makes them happy, okay? If implants make a lady happy, then she should get them, okay? Like Dolly Parton said, it really worked out for her. Okay, if tattoos make someone happy, they should get them. Piercings, whatever. It only becomes an issue for Kat when it becomes greater than the Lord. So some people that maybe go a little overboard with the tattoos, they start tattooing their neck and their face and all over. That might be where you're actually making it more of a idol than the Lord. If you get addicted to something, it's almost like you're going to give it more attention than you should. And I think at a certain point, some people get addicted to them. That's the only case where I would think something is bad. Same thing with like eating too much would be gluttony, envy. Some of the major the seven sins, type thing. But it was a very interesting conversation, and I wanted to veer away from judging anybody, really. And I brought up a bathing suit. I'm like, if you go to the beach, you'll see a girl in a bikini. I said, that's probably the least amount of clothing you'll ever see a girl in. Do you go to the beach? Type of question. Because you're going to see women in bathing suits at the beach. Okay? So, but I could tell that the person had definitely had some experiences that were negative. And that's what was drawing her those negative conclusions. But the only thing that it didn't come off good is it came off very anti-man, which I don't like. That's all. It came off where, men are evil because of the way God has made you to be attracted to women. And that's just a bridge too far for Kat. And a lady will never understand what it's like to be a man, just like a man will never understand what it's like to be a lady and have a baby. It's just the way it is. But I'm not going to be made to feel bad about the way I am either. I know that if the Lord did not put that into us, that drive, then there would be, the population of this earth would not be what it is, because there just would not be the push. You wouldn't want to deal with what you have to deal with. It was It's an eye-opening experience. It's all I can say to sometimes try to explain something to somebody that just doesn't understand. And sometimes people don't realize that they're being mean. They don't realize that that what they're saying is coming off and hurting other people. I think that was a big thing, big issue, and oh well, it was definitely an interesting conversation though this afternoon. Very took 3 hours, people, and everybody wanted the key. Everybody wanted to talk about it. It was very enthralling conversation, and I like those. I like discussion, debate. I just it to that is so gives me a feeling of a drive when everybody's giving their opinions and stuff and sharing in the discussion. And I like the diversity of thought. So I do appreciate that it was brought up because it gave us stuff to talk about for hours, and I hope opened up some people's minds to other people's issues. I saw points. She made many good points, but then I saw things that were also negative towards other people. So you want to stay away from that. You try to help people, and the body shaming just has to end. It really does. You should worry about yourself and your family, but you really shouldn't be judging other people. You just shouldn't. It's of God. The Lord says it in the Bible many times about judging. They're without sin, cast the first stone type of stuff. All right. The Dem Base is a little off, and that's just because they want this to go on and stalemate. They just expect to always get their way, and to me, it's crazy. If I knew that we could just throw fits like this and nothing that Biden wanted to get done would get done, we could have done this too, I guess. Is this what we should do the next time a Democrat's in the White House? Just throw fits and stall everything up, and so nothing gets done? Is that the way we're supposed to do things? To me, it seems like a stupid thing to do. Like, it's dumb. I don't like it. I don't like stalling things up. I like progress, and this seems stupid. I just wouldn't be a part of this. I just can't be a part of it. Nope. So you guys are crazy. Sorry to tell you, but you are. You got to wake up and understand. It wasn't just the electoral vote. He won the popular too, people. This is an election that has been decided. But you guys think, because there's some of you out there that don't like him, that you should just get to do everything you want, and get everything you've always wanted. I just don't understand. When you lose, and you don't get what you want, I think this is a mentality of always giving people an award. And now you guys you think participation trophies mean you get to keep control of things, and it's like, no, you don't. It's crazy. Bernie Sanders talks about Democrats needing to do more. Or not Democrats. Apologies. Billionaires. Bernie talks about billionaires need to do more. There's only 900 billionaires in America. 900. So that's not very many people. Okay, that's under 1,000 people. There's 340 million in the U.S. people. Okay, so why are we worried about the billionaires having to cover everything when there's only 900 of them? Okay. Last thing, we're almost out of time. We got to cover it real quick. Cuba is causing issues. I guess their leader threatened Trump's life. We could just wipe you out, Cuba, in 2 seconds. You know that, right? We could just wipe you out like nothing. So I wouldn't be saying stuff like that. If you threaten him, we can arrest you, Just because you're not in our country doesn't mean we can't. And your term will be up soon enough, and you'll be out of power, and we'll get somebody else in there, because we're going to control this hemisphere. We're not going to let China. okay? And you cozied up to China, and you got in their Belt and Road Initiative, and you're moving away from the dollar and going with their money system, and we can't have that, okay? We have to control this hemisphere, and we will. And so you're going to back down eventually, or there's going to be hell to pay. Because you know the Monroe Doctrine? Well, now it's the Donald Doctrine, okay? And we are going to make sure that this hemisphere is safe for Americans. All right, buddy? So you can say whatever you want, and just I hope you feel safe at night, buddy. I really do hope you feel safe. Because I'm telling you, we'll take Maduro out, and we'll take you out next if we have to, okay? We don't need to do regime change. With Venezuela, we can do regime collapse, okay? It'll just collapse, okay? And then with you, we can just take you out, all right? And somebody else will fill the void. Somebody who likes Donald Trump and likes America, okay? So we ain't too afraid about you, okay? We ain't too afraid of you, Cuban guy. Just want to let you know, okay? You ain't nothing. Chaba, all right. Rock and roll, we're at 30. That's all. I got all my topics done. Whew, I'm getting good at these, baby. I'm getting good at these. I hope you guys are enjoying them. Got to keep firing them out. Every day, going to try to have something interesting. And these were great topics, and I flew by with my time. So, chaba cha. I will see you guys tomorrow. This is Kat Kennison, your host, saying see you guys tomorrow. Woo! Chaba cha! Here comes Kitty! You get to see her right now at the end. We'll let her say hi. Let's make sure she can say hi to you guys. How are you, Kitty? How you doing? All right, people. It's been a good one. We will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye now. Oh, don't step on that.